waiting for our live stream to begin on all the platforms, which is absolutely phenomenal. What a blessing it is to be alive, blessing to have technology, blessing to be able to connect with so many amazing people from around the world. Okay, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Lukemindpower show. This is episode number 105, and as I mentioned, it is a blessing to be alive. But wow, life is such a. Let me just slow down. I can feel my heart. My heart is beating a little bit fast, and I'm like, wonder what that is. Is that like my younger version of myself saying, "Hey, I'm a bit nervous. I'm going live again on all these different platforms. I've done this so many times. You still get a little bit nervous. It's all good. It's all good, man. Love yourself so much that you speak your truth even when your voice shakes. Never be afraid of the truth, because the truth will set you free. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk a little bit about hate, and a little bit about why I believe that people project hate, negativity, or maybe what it really is. Yes, it's the ego, but what it really is also is it's also the lack of understanding, the lack of compassion, the lack of empathy, the lack of awareness, right? Because we all have been through different experiences in our life, and we've been molded and shaped and programmed and conditioned to think a certain way, to believe a certain way, and hence why we project the way that we do. So I guess this is going to resonate with a lot of people who are on social media, or who, you know what, even if you're not on social media, if you're just someone who feels like people judge you, or, people don't understand you. I hope that this resonates with you, so that you can kind of step back from reacting to people and realize that people are really just showing you a reflection of what they have within themselves. And that's why, for me, even with my clients when I'm coaching, what I've even learned recently is I've had to practice myself of not reacting, but actually stepping back and saying, okay, I wonder why that person is communicating to me the way that they are. I wonder why they're thinking the way that they are. I wonder why they're sharing that specific thing in that way. I wonder why they're projecting onto me in that sense, right? So majority of the time, again, this comes down to relationships, this comes down to communication, this comes down to awareness, okay? Your ability to realize that it's never personal, right? It's always coming from the other person, but we get triggered, right? Because we have that lack of awareness, we have that lack of confidence within ourselves, and we've been through a lot of trauma. We've been through, like, one thing that I've recently realized is, for example, I don't think I heard someone talking about, being hit when you're a child, right? And I was definitely belted when I was a kid, and because, that's how it was, right? You do something wrong, you get in trouble. And so I've actually thought about that recently, and like, how much of an effect has being hit had on your life? Whether you were hit by your hand, you were slapped in the face, or you had a belt, or you belted on your ass, how much of that abuse has had an effect and wounded you because of that experience as a child? Because there's many other experiences that you could have gone through as a child, or as a teenager, whether you were bullied or shamed or called names or abused in different ways, or, told you that you're not good enough, or judged because of the way that you look, your physical appearance. Or maybe you just judged yourself because you didn't feel like you were good enough at school, or you weren't intelligent. You compared yourself to others because other people were excelling more than you, or you were just evolving differently, right? And that's the thing where you come back and go, hang on a second, man, why am I comparing myself to other people? I'm not other people, I'm me. So this is the place where you get to go, okay, what's missing in my relationship? What's missing in my friendships is the lack of awareness, the communication, and the ability to love yourself. Because this is the truth. It all comes down to self-love. When you love yourself, when you fill yourself up with full of love and positivity, and you step back into your power, right? You come back home to you. You come back home to God. You come back home to the universe, right? Which is within you, right? You come back to that spiritual essence of who you are. There's no hate to give. There's no hate to give. I don't have any hate for anyone. And that's why if someone does project onto me, or someone does judge me, or someone says nasty things about me or talks shit behind my back, that's got none of my business, right? But all that's showing is lack of awareness, lack of compassion, lack of understanding, because they don't have my life, they don't have my mind, they don't know the way that I think, they don't know why I believe the way that I believe, they don't know what experiences I've been through to get me to this place of why I think and act the way that I do. And so all it is a lack of compassion, lack of awareness, lack of empathy, lack of love, right? All you're doing is you're showing the world what it is that you have within yourself, that you feel the need that you have to project onto someone else with that negativity or that hate. So it's super crucial for you to pay attention to that. But in terms of relationships, in terms of healing, in terms of not reacting, because when someone triggers you, what's your first instinct? Your first instinct is to react and to protect. You go into this defense mode where you're just like, oh shit, that person just triggered me and they said something to me that I didn't like, or that I dealt with when I was a child, and now I'm hearing that again, and that really hurts my feelings. The first thing you want to do is react to that person, and you want to kind of like, you're trying to process it straight away. Like for me, if I've been triggered, it's kind of like, oh shit, how do I react to that? And I sometimes even get stuck and choke up because I can't think of the right words to say because I'm blushing and my heart rate's increased and I'm feeling my emotions and I'm just like, oh shit. And sometimes I can't even speak, right? And so that's where you have to be able to connect with yourself and realize, okay, process shit. And sometimes you have to take a step back and not react and let it be, and then address it 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour later, right? I had an experience with one of my clients and I felt triggered. And so what did I do? I sat there. Instead of reacting, I just thought about it for a moment, and I said, hang on a second, I'm like, it's nothing to do with me, but how do I communicate this now? How do I not react? How do I come from a place of love and compassion and understanding, right? Because there's a reason why people communicate the way that they do. There's a reason why people react the way that they do. There's a reason behind everything. And it's about your ability, right? Your awareness, your discernment to come back and go, okay, how can I try to be more compassionate and understanding as to why this person is communicating to me that way? Why do they think that way? How can I be more understanding instead of being reactive and saying, hey, don't judge me, or don't speak to me like that, or, you know, who do you think you are? How dare you talk to me like that, right? And again, this comes down to love. Right? This comes down to peace. This comes down to being able to see that person, being able to appreciate that person, right? For who they are, not to stand there and look at them and say, F you, you know, who do you think you are? And get angry. There's no need for anger. And so I went out into nature and I sat there and I meditated, and I just, you know, one thing that my friend told me recently, she said, you know, everybody's out there praying all the time, asking God, give me this, give me that, or protect me, or this, or this. We're always asking, right? But do you ever just wonder, maybe you should just shut the hell up and listen for a bit? Hence why meditation is so powerful. And so when I realized that, I was like, man, that's epic. You know, now it's like, it makes so much sense. Everyone's always praying for shit. And it's like, man, stop praying and fucking listen. Pay attention. So, you know, there I was meditating and just letting God talk to me, letting the universe talk to me and allow me to hear so that I can understand better of how to actually deal with communication and more of empathy and understanding into the relationships that I'm having. So that's something that definitely has really, really helped me to kind of come back home, come back into my authenticity, and come back into really the love energy, which is really, really powerful. And that's where I see, there is a lot of hate. And the other side of, social media, like, for example, when I think about haters and I think about like talking shit and all that kind of stuff, I think about Conor McGregor, right? He's a what is it? What do they call it? Not WWF, MMA fighter, right? He's in the octagon, whatever they call it. Anyway, so Conor McGregor, right? And he loves to talk shit. He loves to, talk it up. And before the fight, he's really, really like against his opponent. But like deep down, he's a really nice, genuine guy from some of the interviews that I've seen him. But when he hates on his opponent, it's all about attention, right? It creates the atmosphere. People listen to the things that he says and it gets attention because he's very, very toxic, negative. He puts down the opponent, right? And he's hating on the person, right? But it's really just a show. That's my perception. I see that and I'm just like, yeah, it's all part of the show. It gets people's attention. They look at it and they're like, oh my God, did you hear what he said to him? Did you hear what he was doing? Did you hear what he was saying? Like in the octagon when he broke his ankle the last fight and the other fighter was walking away, he said something to him about the fighter's wife. He said, that's why your wife is in my DMs, right? And so he was upset. He was angry. And again, it's part of the show. Like, I'm going to fight you again. I'm going to come back again. We're going to fight again. Right. So that's from a different kind of mindset in terms of getting attention. It's the same thing as news. I know I'm digressing from the haters, but the news does the same thing, right? All these mainstream media, okay, everything is about money, right? Everything is about money. Everything is about negativity. And it's about getting people's attention because how do we get attention? We get attention by seeing and watching something that is like bad and negative. And it's like, it gets your attention because like, oh my God, did you see that? Wow. Really? Worst case scenario, anytime, whatever it is, it's always the worst case scenario. Even if it's not factual, they still make it sound like it's the worst. They always go to the worst case situation in whatever story they're telling or they're showing on the news. It's always the worst case scenario, even if it's not true, right? It's an assumption or a presumption, that possibility that it could be that bad, but it's really not that bad. But that's how they make it because it gets your attention. That's the whole point. It's all about money and it's all about you being programmed and watching that shit. And that's how they work. That's how they make more money because then you get to see all the ads. You get to spend more time and be more programmed by their bullshit, right? But in terms of everything, man, it really does. It gets people's attention. So that's that side. But anyway, for the haters, we call them the haters, but really, from in my mindset, and I invite you to adapt to this kind of mindset because, again, it's not that you can adapt to it. It's that you need to build that relationship with yourself. Because once you have that love and you've really connected with yourself and you understand who you are and you really step into that real brilliance and authenticity of who you are, there's no room for hate. There's no room for you to be looking at someone else and judging them. All I have in me is to see you winning, right? That's the truth. Right? If you're living your dreams, you're happy with your life, you're doing what you want to do, I'm happy for you. If someone's doing better than me, right? Who's to say they're doing better than me? What judgment is that? And who makes that decision? Who decides that someone is doing better than me? Again, because that's comparison. You think because someone has a nice house and 10 cars that they're doing better than me. How do you know? How do you know that they are not unhappy inside, but that's just an external thing that they're showing that makes them feel like, oh, I'm something because I have these external things. But really inside they could be really unhappy, right? And they're using these external material objects to fuel them, to make them feel like I'm good enough. I'm good enough because I have this nice house, or I'm good enough because I have this beautiful girlfriend. I'm good enough because I have these amazing handbags and this nice watch. I'm good enough, right? So again, it's a personal journey where you have to tap into yourself and realize that, man, there's no place for comparison, right? But we're programmed that way. That's how we're programmed. Understand it. It all comes from the life experience of what you're living through right now. Is you have been programmed by the external world. This is psychology, man. This is why you have to be aware of your mind, okay, and how you think, and the experiences that have shaped you to be the way that you are, because everything around you manipulates you. That's why solitude is so key. Spending time alone, man. Disconnect to reconnect, right? Isolate yourself so that you can reconnect with your heart, reconnect with your power, okay? Because there's no space here for comparing yourself to anyone else. Who gives a shit, right? You're here to shine in your brilliance. You're here to extract your greatness and share it with the world. That's what you're here for. You're here as a light, you know, to shine in other people's darkness, because a lot of people are suffering right now. Right? You're not here to be trying to be in a race with someone else to see who can get more money or who can have more external objects. The peace is within. You know, the peace is within yourself, right? But again, we've been programmed through culture, through religion, through history to live a certain way, to have these certain standards of how you need to grow and what you need to do and how you need to think and what you need to have. And it's all bullshit. It is all bullshit. If you don't have that happiness within yourself, you're going to do things like hate on people, because your ego is going to get the better of you because you got that lack of awareness, that disconnection, that disassociated state. And so you're going to project and lose yourself in looking what other people are doing and giving a shit. Right? It's like, man, focus, come back home. Come back home, focus on your shit and be happy. Be happy with who you are. Don't lose yourself in what other people are doing. Be inspired by them living their truth and speaking their truth and doing what's right for them. Be inspired by other people's success. Right? If you're triggered by other people's success, well, you need to look at yourself, ask yourself some questions and say, why am I triggered? Why do I feel like that? Why am I comparing myself to others? What's missing in me? And that could be the truth for you, that maybe there's something missing. Maybe there's a disconnection in yourself that you need to look inside and say, hey, you know, why am I judging? Why am I comparing myself? Right? Because most of the time, that's what you'll find is that, hey, you know what? I haven't spent enough time with myself. I don't even know who I am. Right? I may be living the repeat of what my parents went through. I may be living the repeat of the culture that I was raised in. And you got to pay attention to this shit, because are you on repeat, or are you living an authentic life that you have chosen? Or are you going to repeat the same mindset, repeat the same lifestyle, repeat the same things that your parents have gone through or your parents' parents went through? Because that's not what you came here to do. You didn't came here to repeat. You came here to cut the cycle. You came here to get the scissors and cut it, and for you to live your truth. For you to do exactly what's right for you. For you to break out of that. That's the challenge. You got to break out. You got to break out to step into your greatness, to step into your truth, to step into your power. Because we can lose ourselves. We lose ourselves to the world. Okay? The world is here for us to utilize in the best way. But if you're not conscious, right? If you're not aware, then you're going to be constantly looking around. And it's like, bro, don't look around, man. Look inside. Because everything that you seek is within you. Your love, your happiness, your prosperity, your opulence, your success, your abundance. It ain't outside of you. It's you. It's right. Don't chase the money. Don't chase the success. Become the success. Become the money. Become the happiness. And you will attract that. You attract what you are. The more you vibrate on a higher frequency of positivity and love and positive energy, and you surround yourself with that kind of people and with that kind of energy, with that kind of environment, you're a product of your environment. If you don't like the product that you are, then change your environment. That's the truth. Change it. It has such an impact on your mindset, on the way you feel, right? I'm very protective over who I communicate with, because I know what fuels me. I know what lifts me up. I know what is on the same frequency as what I need for me to flourish, for me to keep blossoming, right? Think about a garden. How does a beautiful flower grow? When it's nurtured, when it's watered, when it has vitamin D, when it has the sun, when it has beautiful soil, right? It's in a healthy environment. So you too need a healthy environment. If you want to grow and if you want to live your dreams and you want to live your best life, you need to surround yourself with a healthy environment, with love, with support, with encouragement, with uplifting energy. Straight up, straight up. So don't hate, just love. Understand, have compassion, have empathy, and ask the question, hey, I wonder why that person is the way they are. Interesting, right? Because not everybody's going to understand you. And this is the experience of, like, doing what you know you need to do that's right for you without worrying about what other people think. And this is the hardest thing for so many people, because we don't have that self-confidence. We're not connected with ourselves. And so then we have these receptors on our freaking mind that are constantly going, oh, what's that person going to think? Shit, I better not do that because that person's going to judge me. That person's going to think bad of me, right? And then it's also the part that, certain things that you may do can also lead to a disconnection in, for example, family or loss of family because of what you believe in, because people will judge you, right? Or even friends, right, might stop talking to you because of the way that you think or believe. So you have to be willing to go, you know what, man, like, my happiness, my peace, and my truth is my number one priority. And if people don't like it, that's okay. I'm going to keep going my direction, simply because your truth will set you free. Your truth will lead you to salvation. Your truth will attract more of the truth. Straight up. Your truth will attract more of the truth, right? And then when you surround yourself with, again, it's just to say, it's very simple. Like you as you grow, okay, and as you do exactly what's right for you, you will find that you will attract that kind of energy into your life. People who are like-minded, like yourself. Okay, and again, once you tune into that becomes really, really powerful, because then what you see is you become very, very intuitive, and you're very connected with your energy. Right. And then when you do connect with certain people, you feel the energy and straight away. And that's why this is kind of digressing into, relationships, for example. If you've got a lack of trust in men or in women because of certain relationships that you've had in the past, right? It's not that you don't trust men or don't trust women or don't trust that potential possibility of having another relationship. It's just that you don't trust yourself. Okay. It's not about the other person. It's never about anything else outside of you. It's about you inside. Okay, it's about stepping into you, right? Building that self-confidence, building that connection with yourself. Because once you understand your energy and you understand your lessons, because everything is a lesson, the lesson will keep showing up until you learn it, right? So being able to connect to the energy of someone else when they come into your life and being able to learn from your lessons, realize that, wow, okay, this is what I went through before. This person's showing up in the same way. See you later. Right? Or tuning into the energy and understanding, well, yeah, there's something that doesn't feel right. Like, you ever get that feeling where, in your gut, you're just like, this feels off. Or even better, you start to overthink. You start to doubt yourself. You start to think, hang on a second, that feels weird. Why is that happening? Geez, I'm thinking about that a lot. Why am I overthinking so much? That is a clear indication, right? If something feels off, that means it is. It's off, and you have to have the confidence in yourself to say, hey, hang on a second, you know what? That's not healthy for me, right? Because again, we want to come back to having a healthy environment. If you allow someone to come into your life that's unhealthy, you feel that vibration, that energy, right? That something is off, that's because it fucking is. That's because it is. And you got to love yourself enough to stand up, speak your truth, even when your voice shakes, right? Even when your voice shakes, you got to speak your truth, because you got to protect yourself, right? Energy is currency. Your energy is currency, and it's expensive, and you don't want to waste it or someone who doesn't appreciate it, or who's in someone that's going to manipulate or take away your time and energy. It's valuable, and you want to use your energy in the best possible way to live your dreams and live your most successful life ever. episode number 105. Break it down. Lukemindpower is in the house. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day. I'm going to jet. I'm going to have a beautiful, beautiful day. Living my dreams, man, and doing what I love, inspiring people, motivating people, speaking my truth, doing what I believe in. And I hope that this message has inspired you to step more into your greatness, to love yourself, to know that, people who are not connected are going to hate. People have their own opinions. Their opinions of you is none of your business. Hold on to your truth, live it, breathe it, love it, and never, ever give up on yourself. Because 3.5 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. And to be honest, I still kind of don't know how I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just the universe is working through me, and I'm just connected, and I'm breathing my truth. I'm living it. I'm loving life, and I'm changing the world. Have an amazing day, guys. I will talk to you very, very soon. This is episode 105 of the Lukemindpower Show, available on all podcast platforms. Tune in or tune out. I believe in you. I love you. You're amazing. You are more powerful than you think. You are more powerful than you think. You think you can't do it, but you can. You're bloody amazing. Like, for real. One step at a time. One step at a time. Don't rush. Don't get overwhelmed. Just slow down. Right? Love yourself. Fill yourself up, man. Take care of your beautiful self, because you're phenomenal. You're amazing. And you're brilliant. And I'm sending you so much love. Don't forget to share this episode on your Instagram stories or Facebook. Share it with the world. Let people hear this message, right? Let people be inspired. Help people wake up to their own brilliance, to their own challenge, to their own struggle of what they may be dealing with, right? There could be someone that needs to hear this podcast and needs to hear this episode that's struggling right now and that needs that extra push and motivation. So share this live, share this episode, and have an amazing day. I'll talk to you very, very soon. Peace out, guys. Much love.